Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. That was very crazy. I'm Kat, the nurse slipper. I'm joined by Rod, my co-host, picking and punching. Below me is Tommy Buffalo Picker. He hasn't been on in years. I looked, it has been years since he has been on. I didn't realize it had been that long. And then catty corner to me is David Dmiddleman Picker. He has never been on. So both these guys do Amazon and Walmart. So we've got some different platforms for you guys. If you have questions, I'm going to make them big, let them introduce themselves, tell you about their business and where you can find them. And then we will get to the questions. Make sure you get them in early. Get them in early, guys. All right, here is Tommy.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to be here at Cat Show. I go by the name Buffalo Picker on YouTube. I am a part-time reseller, full-time federal employee. I actually work for General Services Administration, federal agency in the federal government. Also, I sell Walmart, Amazon, and eBay. And thanks, Kat, for having me here tonight.
Happy to have you. Here's David.
Hi, I'm David, the middleman picker. I sell on Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and whatnot. I'm a part-time reseller. I drive trucks for a living, and I stay in Florida. I appreciate Kat for inviting us to the show. Me and Tommy also have a show that we do. It's Tommy's show, but we co-host with Glass City Pickers called Defend the Hustle. Welcome out.
Yeah, when do you guys do that? Tell them what day and what time. And that's on Tommy's channel, which is linked down below, guys.
We just made a change. We were doing it every Friday night at 7:30. This weekend coming will be our first show on Sunday. So we're moving the show to Sunday due to a couple situations with the folks on the panel. We had to go ahead and look at seriously about changing the date. So now our show would be at 7:30 every Sunday instead of 7:30s on Fridays.
And that's Eastern, right?
Yes, Eastern time.
Okay. Yeah, all four of us are in Eastern time. I always forget. Trish is in Hawaii, and I was messaging her at like 11 a.m. Well, they're 6 hours behind. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. And she was answering me. She's like, I'm in bed. I'm like, oh, what time is it? She's like, it's 5 o'clock. I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you I felt so bad. It's so hard with the time zone. All right. Miss Cassandra sent us a $10 super chat before we even started. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to give you my favorite, I think, which is the whale. Here you go. Thank you. All right. Hollyhock saying, where do we put a private note on pricing? I put it under custom SKU and it was showing on my listed items and I had to go back and remove. I have an idea. Did you type in custom SKU to like make your own field? Because if you did, that would make it show, but you have to hit see more. And typically the custom SKU is at the bottom on the phone app, and on the computer, you have to hit see more options for title, and the custom SKU field comes up, but the custom SKU does not show in your listing. So the only thing I could think of, I don't know if Rod can think of anything else. The only thing I could think of is if she typed in custom SKU to make her own field.
Yeah, so if you're doing it from the desktop, if you actually click on custom SKU, not the one that Kat's talking about, the drop down off title. There's a separate category in the center that says custom SKU. If you click on that, whatever you type in that custom SKU will show up on your listing. That's the difference. So you actually need to find that there's a custom SKU area that you can like put down like where your inventory would be, what you pay for the item. That's me below the title layer. But if you're doing the one that's actually in the actual like the different what do they call that area on there? I'm gonna have to go.
Specifics.
Yeah, the specifics. In the specifics, there's a custom SKU one which can be confusing, but you put it in there, they will see it on the listing.
But the custom SKU on the app at the bottom of specifics does not show.
Correct.
So you're saying it's in the middle though. So if it's in the middle, that one apparently shows, but if it's at the very bottom, it will not.
Yeah, because I actually did the same mistake myself. That's how I knew that that's where it was in the middle there.
Yeah, so I would test it a couple times just to make sure you figured the right one to get it on. Miss Lisa sent a $10 super chat, and she said shipping $11.50 for a 2-ounce shirt from Wisconsin to Michigan, which is an 8-hour drive, then a $5.50 seller discount makes no sense. I've been giving back $2 to $3. How do I set a flat rate without losing money? I would ask, because I know you're in here, are you talking about priority or are you talking about ground advantage? Because priority is high, even if it's 4 ounces now. Priority is high. So tell us, 1 pound, 2 ounce. Okay, she clarified. 1 pound, 2 ounce. So it's, a 2 pound rate. So the problem is, I'm bad at geography. Is Wisconsin in the middle of the country?
Yes.
I'm horrible.
Yes.
Okay, so she should be even both ways, right?
She's Midwest, yes. So if you're Midwest, you can set a custom. So if you ship it to West Coast or East Coast, there shouldn't be that much of a difference. The only difference.
So it sounds like she's paying $6. So I would set, if it were me, I would set a flat rate at like $7.50 to give myself a little bit for the poly mailer is what I would do.
What else, Kat? What else do we get charged on for when it comes to shipping
the
money?
Fee. Yeah. So if you pay $6.50, that's $7.15 with the fees.
Yeah. So remember, guys, you guys get charged with everything. That includes the sell price and the shipping costs, because back in the day, back in the day, people would put a $50 item for $1 and then put the shipping as $50. That way people could buy it and they would avoid paying fees in the item. And then eBay caught on, and that's why eBay does that.
Yes.
So
all right, let me give go ahead, Rod.
I was saying, no, we'll go do that first, and we can go back to the previous question. I got it pulled up, so I can tell you exactly where the areas are.
All right. I'm going to give Lisa the beach just because of her name. Here you go. He's in here under the table in the back of the shed. He'll, I'm sure, show his face at some point tonight.
All right. So if you're listing from a desktop, this is for desktop only. Where the title is, in the top right corner will say See Title Option. When you click on that, there's a button down below that says Custom SKU, and that's where you can put in all your stuff, and they will not see that. That's going to be your own SKU number there, information. Now, if you're doing it in the section where it says, where's that? Item specifics. In item specifics, there's at the very bottom there where it says Add Custom Item Specific. The buyers will see that, because you're adding in, and that's set up with, like, if you have like a custom bundle feature or something like that, you can add that in there. That's why they have that there. So,
and that's where you want on the app.
Yes. So that's why it's confusing for a lot of people, because if you do it from the app, it's going to be under the item specifics, but on the desktop, it's actually off the title. So do not put it in the item specifics if you're doing it if you're listing on the desktop.
Perfect. All right. Cassandra said, if I lose a dispute, I'm going to assume she means a credit card dispute. Do I receive my item back from the buyer?
No.
What is Buffalo?
I'm pretty sure that's what she means.
Did he not hear? Is he here?
Tommy, any input? Have you had the credit card disputes?
Is she speaking of eBay?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the person to ask that. I'm more of Walmart, Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna defer that over to the middleman.
Just say skip it next time, so that way we know.
Okay,
we can hear you, no problem.
I'll just hang out.
Every time I lost a dispute with eBay, I never got my item back. So yeah, when you lose a dispute with eBay, and eBay don't require for them to send the item back.
Yeah, same thing if you have a credit card dispute too. If you have a credit card dispute, at that point in time, whatever the credit card company decides, they're not going to make you ship a label back or anything like that. So if you lose a credit card dispute, then you lose your item, you lose anything in that process. As for eBay, if you have a dispute on eBay, eBay will. I'm trying to think, man. Most of the time, yeah, if you lose a dispute on eBay, from my understanding, from my disputes in the past, because I have actually been in disputes on the buyer side where I disputes where I got to keep the item and I've been refunded in the past. So that's why normally if a buyer opens a credit card, a buyer opens a dispute on eBay, I'll go through the proper protocol and try to, fix the situation right before eBay makes a decision on it. You can appeal though. If you do lose a dispute on eBay, you can go through appeal process as well.
But if they dispute it, like I thought they had the only, like, so if they say it's not as claimed, then they're required to send it back. The only time I know they don't have to send it back is if it's a credit card dispute. And I have one credit card dispute because people are sneaky. And I don't know if they forget they buy things or what they're trying to do, but I had somebody, they left positive feedback that they loved the item, and then they filed a credit card dispute saying they didn't buy it. And I'm like, but there's feedback saying you like the item. I won that one because I had proof they're saying they liked it. But if you guys remember, and one of you in Seattle, this is where it's nice to have friends everywhere. One of you in Seattle went to the post office for me after this lady filed a credit card dispute on a bracelet. She asked the post office to hold it, filed a credit card dispute, was going to get her money back, and thought she was going to go get my $100 bracelet. But one of you, thank you, went to the post office, told them, showed them screenshots, and they returned it back to me. And I got my $100 bracelet back. So her idea didn't pan out, my friend. But yeah, so it says on there, and I couldn't prove it was delivered because she asked the post office to hold the dang thing.
It was a credit card dispute. So credit card disputes will charge, eBay will charge you a $20 fee if you lose your credit card dispute. So keep that in mind because eBay gets charged.
But there's nothing you can do, that. And I mean, but I've also been I've had to file disputes when like somebody hacked a credit card number, but like the ones where they already left positive feedback and stuff, there's nothing you can do. And like, it sucks.
Yeah. My last Flipper video, I actually just got hit with the credit card dispute. So it's kind of ironic that this.
I saw that I saw that.
Yeah. So I just got hit with the credit card dispute. I don't know if you remember this, Cat. Probably this might have been like 10 years ago or even more. eBay, at one point in time, eBay changed their processor. The credit card processor they normally use, I got hit between like 5 or 6 credit card disputes the same month because they changed the name that was coming up. So people have been buying on eBay for years. It will come up a certain name on the credit card dispute, and when they changed the processor, I was getting hit with so many disputes because they didn't recognize the charge. But it was eBay. They just changed the payment processor.
Because they changed the name, and people didn't know what the charge was because it didn't say eBay.
Yeah.
See, I had a credit card dispute on Amazon. And what I do, I always tell people that watch the channel, when you're dealing with any of these platforms and you're selling high price items, you want to get a signature from these buyers. The reason is it will protect you because now they can't say they didn't receive it and they can't say anything not as described or wait 24 days later and say something crazy or dispute it. With Amazon, when I had a credit card dispute with them, only thing they required me to do is show the tracking. If they because usually be on a high dollar item. They don't dispute a $10, $20 item. It's always the high dollar item. This particular item was $200-$300 action figures. So the guy got it. I know it probably was a collector. He got it and then disputed it with his credit card company. Thankfully, I always put signature on everything. So when I put the signature on it, he signed for it. That's where he made his mistake. Only thing I had to do was prove to Amazon it was shipped on time. It was he received it and he signed for it. and there was nothing else he can do. I kept my money, then they told him to go.
I was gonna say on eBay, you are mandatory required on anything over $750 to put signature confirmation on it. Usually, if it's something over like $300 or more, I'll put a signature on it, because just for what you're saying, just to get the extra protection, because it only cost me an extra like $5. At that point,
Right.
if I'm selling an item that large, I probably have a pretty high profit margin on my item. But my question to you two is, since you both sell on Walmart and on Amazon, when you guys sell a high dollar item, eBay has a requirement of $750 mandatory signature. Does Amazon or Walmart require you guys to put signature confirmation on it if it's a high dollar item at all?
Not at all. That's your choice.
That's your choice.
So what I do, my rule of thumb is anything over $30, I want the scammer to have a dilemma. Either they're going to refuse the package or they're going to sign for it. So like Middleman stated, once that signature has been registered, there's no way out of them making any type of false claim on that package. Yeah. So, and that I would put that out to anybody in the audience. If you got an item, whether it's a high dollar item or not, you just don't want the headache. If you're going to pay $3.25 for a signature on a $30 items, you still should be making some profit. So, and that's the way I look at it. If it's $19, I just chalk it up. At the end of the year, I'm going to write it off as a loss anyway. But just to minimize the headaches, I'm definitely going to put a signature on it. And 2 years ago, I wasn't doing that, and I was having all kind of headaches. And then one day, Dmiddleman and myself was having a conversation, and it was like, they put signatures on everything. I was like, oh, maybe that's something I need to try. So, and that's what led to me. And I'm going to tell you, based off of my experience, is that it has definitely limit the headaches that I was having with people claiming that they didn't receive the package or it just it was shipped to the wrong address, and whatever excuse they were coming up with. So that signature is the antidote.
With that being said, then, do you guys ever run into the problem where the packages are unable to deliver because people can't sign for it? You guys run into that? How often does that happen then for you guys, since you guys are putting the signatures on a lot of items?
For me, Middleman, you go first, and I come behind you.
This is how I look at it when it comes to that. People who actually want the item will sign for it. They'll go to the post office, or they'll open the door, and because we all get packages from different places, and sometimes UPS come to your door and ask you for a signature. 9 times out of 10, a lot of people are going to open the door for the UPS driver and sign for it. Now, those ones that decide that they're not going to do it, those most likely is the scammers, or the ones that already had bad intentions when they ordered the item, right? So the process is they'll come for the signature. If the person denies it or is on at home, they'll take it to the post office or to the UPS. But what they will do, they'll leave a note on the door stating to them when it came and where to pick the item up at, and they would require a signature. So with UPS, they'll try again, you know what I mean? And with USPS, they will try again, but they also tell you to arrange for a pickup, you know what I mean, or redelivery. So when they do that, because they do got the note, they'll put a note in your mailbox and they'll put a note on your door. If they don't do it, that means that 9 times out of 10, that's the person that was probably trying to take your item.
So I'm going to say I'm the 10th person. I would be mad if you made me sign for something under $500. I would be ticked, because like we're not home. So like a lot of times nobody's home, and now I work from home. So like, it doesn't happen that much. But when I was working a 12-hour day, I couldn't get to the post office. I might have 4 12-hour shifts, and I couldn't get the post office to sign for it. So like for me, it would be a like I'd be ticked. I'm not going to lie. Because I'd be like, why do I got to sign? Now, UPS will leave the card. Somebody said in the chat, Junk Monkey said, will USPS leave a card you can sign and then they'll still leave it? Because like UPS, that's fine. We could sign the paper, stick it to the door, and then they leave it.
Yeah, all the couriers leave it.
And they'll hold it up to like I think like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you do have time to get it, but I mean, this day
Yeah.
and age, when there's so many porch pirates out there and people getting packages stolen, stuff like that, like I'm actually, I know you might be pissed off about it, but I'm happy. It's like if I had a $300 package and I can't get there, I don't want that thing sitting in front of my house. I got construction all over my neighborhood right now. Like someone goes
Well,
drives
that's
by.
where like we're in the middle of nowhere, so I think that's where it's it's hard for me because I'm like nobody's coming near the house, but like I had an auction company come. And like the auction companies, I spend thousands and thousands of dollars with them, and most of them don't even put it on like $3,000. And like I'm okay with that where I'm at, but I could see like if I was in a neighborhood, I would want that signature, like in that case. So like I think, and Marcia put this, and this is a good question. Because I think me and Rod talked about this here before. Do you tell people so they're aware that the signature is required? Because like if I knew, that would be different. But if I wasn't expecting it, and I needed that item that day, then I'd be frustrated. I get home and my package isn't there. So do you put it in your listings that you require a signature?
No, so they have third-party apps that you can use when you're creating your listing to put that into your listing. But if you don't pay for it, there's no way to put that in there. But what I can say, prior to what I said before about Amazon, what Amazon would do is if they have buyers that have sketchy history, then they will suggest to you to put a signature on that package.
Oh, nice.
So
that's nice.
And also I want to kind of say too is I understand what you're saying, Kat, from a receiver standpoint, but from a seller standpoint, I'd rather get my package back than to figure out which person is a scammer and which person is for real for picking up that package. Because what I have had before is a guy really wanted to pick up the package and he was in a situation like yours where he couldn't get to the post office to sign for it. So once he sent me an email back saying that, hey, I work long hours, I don't have no way of signing for the package. So once I got that little comment from him, because Walmart, Amazon, and of course eBay, they keep up with all the correspondence. So once I got that message from him, I took a chance and I sent the package back without a signature, and I had no problems. But also,
and
Rod,
I would do it too. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I was having a lot of issues like that, I can see from the seller point doing it. But I've only had like 2 credit card disputes in 4 years.
Right. And that original question you asked, Rod, about how many have you had returned based off of that is, I say if I sent out 30 packages, I may had 1 return or 2 where the person didn't sign for it.
Okay.
But
so not that high.
Yeah, it's not that high. But way I look at it, if I'm going to pay $3.25 for my sanity, that I don't have to worry about if it's a scam or getting the package, it's going to come back to me at the end of the year. I mean, you can write that off.
Yeah.
And I mean,
now,
I'm not.
What about FBA? What about FBA though? You can't turn that on for FBA, right?
No, not FBA, but with Amazon Automatic with FBA, they give you the safety claim umbrella. So once you ship it to their warehouse, they are responsible. If that package gets stolen, you still gonna get paid.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. So Mandy says that eBay and USPS incorrectly refunded shipping costs back to her. So she got a message, said the package was only 1 ounce instead of 12 ounce, which was wrong. Have you had this happen before, and what do you do?
No. I never had that happen. Is she talking about pirate ship doing that, or is that
so eBay will do it. eBay will, and most of the times it's a charge. So eBay will, like, because they weigh them under their account or whatever. So if there's a chain, you occasionally will get money back. Very rarely. Most of the time they're like, you said it was an ounce and it was really 12 ounces, and they're going to take that money.
Right.
I've gotten a refund before. It's a system error. In this case, it's in your favor. I would let it go.
Yeah, it comes in actually as the dispute. It will say, because when I use PayPal, because I have my eBay account hooked to my PayPal, so I can get all my rewards points off my Amex credit card. And when I charge my label stuff, that if I ever, I get them occasionally, like, hey, you owe $1.25, or a dispute was in your favor, and then I'll get back like $2.52 or something like that. Like, it's just weird. So it's when they
they automatically do it.
Yeah, they scan at the post office, and then everything's run through eBay's account, so they track it back to eBay's account. But it is a nice surprise when we get free money back sometimes. But
yeah, for sure.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
I've got, mine have been like 56 cents, 10 cents. Like I don't even think I've ever gotten over $1.
Well,
it's all
I
been
will
like
say though,
ridiculous.
I've heard some crazy stories where people have they ship through like FedEx or like UPS, and they said that their dimensions were off, and they use say they use a box that was like 50 by 20 by 10 or something like that, and then they're saying that this box is 52 inches. Like, there's no possible way the box is 52 inches because the box said 50 inches, on there, and then I've heard people getting charged like $1,000, $1,200 because the package ended up being oversized, and it was like a 50 or 100-pound package, and getting a ridiculous charge. So that has happened to numerous people. If you ever guys go to any like the reselling Facebook groups, that pops up.
And you can dispute it, guys. Dispute it.
Yeah, dispute it.
Yeah, you'll win the dispute most of the time, but they always want you to go up and never go down.
It's a pain in the ass. You're gonna have to go through a ton of stuff, jump through hoops to go get that done. So more or less, it's just a waste of your time. You know what I mean? But what are you gonna do? You gotta get that money back.
Yeah, I've had to call because they said something was 12 pounds. I think it was like a data entry error, like where somebody keyed in 12 pounds instead of 12 ounces. And it was like a pretty high, but I want it because they can go back and look at the scale measurements as they go through those different shipping stations. Lynn went thrifting today at my favorites, Key Training in Wildwood. The sale, just so everybody knows if you're in our area, this weekend is the last weekend of the month. So everything is 50% off, and the clothes are always $1 there. So if you're close by, this weekend is the 50% off sale at all those thrifts.
I never heard of that place. Key Training?
Yeah, so their Key Training's in Homosassa, Inverness, Lecanto, and Wildwood. And then Jericho does 50% off and $1 close once a month too. They're in Spring Hill and Brooksville.
Well, that's all about Tampa.
Kind of, off 19. They're all off 19. Yeah. They're about an hour and a half from me, but with the sale, it's worth driving because I just go to all 4 locations, on the same day and make it worth it, the drive. Lucas wants to know, and if you don't sell clothes, just pass. What do you think the best way to take photos of clothing? Do you think it's better to keep them on the hanger or like without a hanger and flat lay them? What do you think is best?
Keep them in the store.
So I've done both. I've done 3 different methods. I've done the flat lay. I bought a mannequin. I had a guy and a girl mannequin, and then I also used the hanger. The mannequin was the biggest pain, and so I don't recommend using a mannequin. The hanger's okay. I cut my hanger in half and attached another hanger to it to make a super hanger, which keeps it like a better
Rally Roots hanger.
Yep, learned that from Rally Roots. And so I did that for a while. But for me, overall, I think the best way is just a flat lay now. I think the flat lay is the quickest way to do it, and it works best for me.
Yeah, so we flat lay. Now, the only exception to that is like cardigans and scarves we do on the mannequin. And I used to hate clothes too, but now we sell so many clothes, I'm fine with it. And we have an app that does the measurements for us. And so we don't have to measure nothing. So it's made it a lot easier, especially on shipping days. That's the best days when you sell clothes and throw them in a poly and you're done.
You said there's an app that you use?
Yeah, it's only on the iPhone. It's called Smart Sizer and it's free. Well, so I'm an Android user, but we have an iPhone that we use for the business because I got it when I started selling on Whatnot because so many features were only available on the iPhone on Whatnot. I bought one like it's not connected. I don't have service on it. I just use it on Wi-Fi for the business. So I bought a locked one off eBay cheap, and that's what we use to photograph and list is the iPhone.
I like how Kat says she loves selling clothes now because she's not photoing or taking the.
I'm not doing it. I pay people to do it. That's another reason why I don't.
Let's be honest here.
I get anxiety problems when I think about the clothing.
Yeah, I love buying clothes. I love buying vintage clothes. I love finding them out in the wild. But I'm just like Kat. I absolutely hate taking photos and I hate listing. So I actually pay my mother-in-law to list them for me.
That's how you get around it. You get a lister for the clothes that are good and worth selling.
Yeah.
And the shipping part's easy.
Yeah.
Russell wants to know, will I be giving away any American Bubble Boy or List Perfectly tonight? No to List Perfectly. They only give me 1 free month to give away here on the podcast as of right now. But I just posted a new link in our Death Pile Destruction group with 25 free months for you guys. So Marshall put the link. Make sure you answer our membership questions. We will decline you. We will decline you if you do not answer them. And I just posted the new link about an hour before we started to get a free month. It is only for new members. And if you've used it before, you can still use my code and get 30% off. And if you're upgrading. So if you guys watch my new video with the AI creating the listings from photos, if you want to upgrade from like a simple plan to the Pro Plus, then you can use my discount and get a discount on the difference, which is nice too. But there it is posted, and I don't know if I'm going to do American Bubble Boy tonight or not. I do not know. I kind of decide around that 9 o'clock point if we're going to do the giveaways or not. All right. Lee said her second sale on eBay, she forgot to put in the weight and package size. So eBay put in too much. So they edit it before they ship, but eBay's telling her she owes $10. But it didn't say who to pay. Does anybody know what that might be?
eBay said that she owes $10. So I'm assuming she already shipped it out because she would owe money, right?
I don't know because like she's saying it's not going to let you ship. Okay, here's my thing. This is the only thing I can think of. Like, you know how eBay defaults to like whatever weight and size? If they defaulted it, they might not have charged the customer enough for it. Yeah. And so now when she put in the weight, she's got to pay the extra because the customer didn't pay it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because so you didn't put your own personal weight? I mean, measurements.
Oh, wait, she said the buyer paid more.
Oh.
The buyer paid a higher price. So meaning that she didn't put the information in a default. Because so what eBay is doing right now, eBay is defaulting sometimes you're listing to like a 25 by like 12 by like
everything
10.
Is 25 inches on eBay.
It's like 25 inches long. So because of the box size, it's automatically going to charge that buyer a higher cost. So
But how would she owe money?
She wouldn't owe money if the buyer paid an actual higher cost. So the problem would be eBay put in too much in and out shipping. eBay says I owe $10. It didn't say who to pay. Yeah, if the buyer paid too much money, you received that money, you would have to go in there and re-edit. If you re-edit, you would actually be paying less money than what the buyer actually paid. So you would be making money. The only way you'd be owing money is if you actually shipped it out with the wrong weight and dimensions on, like we were talking about earlier, and then eBay sent you a message stating that you owe money. They're going to charge. What they'll do is they'll charge your managed payment account because you owe them money because the item was already shipped and the post office billed eBay. Now they're billing you. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. I don't think Tommy and David sell on Posh. Rod, I don't think Posh. Are you?
I'm on Posh. I don't sell much, but I'm on Posh.
So she wants to know if any of us have used the promoted closet, and you guys answer in the chat too, because there might be more of a chance. So she said she tried for 2 weeks and made $12. Any opinions on promoted closet?
You take this one.
Okay. I took Poshmark's offer of $200 for like a week on Promoted Closet, and my sales were $50. And then they wanted me to continue it. I'm like, yeah, no. Why would I pay you $200 to promote my closet when I got $50 in sale? So my opinion is don't do it. I don't know if anybody in the chat's going to have a different opinion, but on their trial, and you would think on their trial they would push it harder, right? So I would think I would make money with it, but I didn't. So I would not do it. Jody wants to know if any of us have experience with antique and vintage sheet music.
No.
I think that's going to be a no across the board, Jody. I'm sorry. Anybody in the chat, if you guys can help her, or maybe if you know any channels that do antique and vintage sheet music. The only one I can think of that might is Auction Professor. Maybe check his channel for something on sheet music, and maybe somebody in the chat will help us.
I mean, someone who specializes in like ephemera would probably be someone that'd be good too. So if you know anyone specialized in antique documents, might be something to look out to.
Yeah, for sure. Vintage Thrifter MCM Sifter wants to know, what is our take on eBay randomly giving sellers listing increases? So I don't know, Tommy and David, if you guys noticed it, but they've been like increasing it. So what's your thought on eBay giving all these increases on listings?
David?
Oh, well, man, I never reach it. I sit at anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 listings on eBay. I don't go too much further than that. Most of my listings are on Amazon and Walmart, so I won't go too much. I would never use it. I don't think I'll ever get to 3,000 or anything like that.
Yeah, so when eBay, back in the day, eBay put a lot of limits on your account because they wanted to make sure that you weren't overselling, that you could handle the volume you're going through, because you have to remember there's a lot of people selling, they're just mom and pops. They're actually not legit businesses. So they wanted to roll out slower to sellers. And I think over time, you had to contact customer service, to get it, you have to talk to someone on the phone. And I think it's just cost prohibitive for eBay now to pay someone to increase limits on people. At this point in time, they're better off just removing limits. And they're not just doing it just random. They're actually doing it across the board. I think it's going to be rolled out to everyone, to be honest with you, except if you're like a new seller just coming in. But I mean, if you're on eBay for a while now, everyone's getting their limits removed. And it's just easier for eBay just not have to deal with that. One less thing customer services to deal with. And then, they'll just deal with your account accordingly if you start messing up or if your account's not in good health like they normally would. So it's something that they're just doing across the board.
Yeah, and I don't even have 5 million. Mine's unlimited. Unlimited listings, unlimited dollars. I know a lot of people got that, but I've been on there a long time. I think we shouldn't have like if we've been selling, we have a good track record. I don't think we should have a limit. Why should they limit us? If we've proven ourselves, why would they limit it? That's limiting us and them, because that's limiting their income if you're hitting, that limit that they give you.
Yeah.
Tommy, Gina wants to know if Buffalo is in New York.
No. I've been asked that so many times. No, Buffalo is based off of the American soldier, Buffalo Soldiers. So that's where the Buffalo comes from. I'm a U.S. Army retired soldier, so I kind of tucked the Buffalo out of Buffalo Soldier to come up with my YouTube name.
Perfect. All right. This one's going to be for David and Tommy, because Rod and I are both full-time. They said, for part-time pickers, how many hours a week are you thrifting or shopping, or however you're sourcing? How many hours a week do you spend on that?
To keep from incriminating myself, I'm going to keep it PG. So in a week, just sourcing probably I say anywhere between 8 to 10 hours on a good week. Just sourcing goods. I don't do thrifts. I'm trying to work my way around to doing the thrifts, but I'm more of a retail arbitrage type person. So I go into the big box stores, discount stores, but anywhere between I would say 8 to 10 hours a week is a good week for me.
Yeah, I would say about the same, but I'm here in Florida, so weekends I get a couple more extra hours. I do some I do minor thrifting. I don't do as much, but I do a lot of yard selling because, like Cat know down here, yard sellings are forever. Everywhere you go, there's yard selling. So I do more yard selling than I do thrifting. We got thrift stores everywhere too down here, just everywhere.
What
So
part of Florida are you in?
Lakeland.
Oh, nice. I'm in Tampa. You're close to me.
Yeah. So it's every Tampa, especially Tampa. Tampa is like big on um, garage sales and estate sales because I look at the garage sale treasure map and I always see like, dang, Tampa just loaded over there. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of competition over there too. You know, it's a
Yeah.
lot of them come over here to my area, but I can, work the Plant City area and, go down to Bartow and all of them other places like that. So I have a little range of places I go. Plus I'm a truck driver. So any city that I see a Walmart in or anything, and I'll stop, and look in there and do some retail arbitrage or some shopping. Like today I found a couple of deals today. Me and Tommy talk a lot, so during the week, so he'll shoot me some deals, and I tell him about some deals, and so yeah, we supposed to be on a buyer's hold right now. I'm trying to fulfill it, but my partner there, he's breaking it every other day.
I'm trying right now too, because I went down to South Florida and got a car full, and then I hit the 50% off sale a week and a half ago, filled my car. So I don't have, like, none of it's older than 2 weeks old, but there's so much of it. And I'm like, I need to like slow my roll. That's why I said I wasn't going to look at these auctions. And you guys know I'm bidding. This is the first auction I've bid on in 2 weeks though. So I have been good because like I don't buy little. If I buy like a lot. So I've been trying to chill out on them, but it's hard sometimes.
It's real hard to stop buying.
It is that whole fear of missing out, man. I would do more retail arbitrage, but I'm so far from everything. Like we have one Walmart here. We don't have any other stores. And like all the other Walmarts are over an hour away. Like if I lived in a city where there were multiple, I would cruise the clearance section. But for me, and I think it really depends on your location. Some people like do well, like TJ Maxx, Ross. I found some good Nikes at Ross now. I found some really good Nikes at Ross. But I live an hour from Ross, so I'm hardly ever buy any of them.
I go in Rod area a lot of times too, and me and my wife would go shopping out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Tampa just got so much stuff over there, and not just Tampa, just below Tampa, Brandon and Bradenton and all of them, man. It's just you go all the way down to Sarasota, and I don't know if you hit Sarasota yet. Sarasota has quite a bit of little hidden gems down there too.
Yep, my yard sale range is pretty big. I'll go all the way from I'm north of Tampa, so I'll go through all through Tampa. I'll go out to Lakeland, out your way. I'll make my way out to St. Pete, Clearwater, Largo, all the way down to Sarasota. I don't care. There's good sales going. I'm driving. I like driving, so I'll drive an hour away to hit up good sales. But you just never know, especially get to the outskirts. When you get to the outs, here's the thing: if you guys want to learn how to source really good and vintage stuff, get to the outskirts of really big cities where for example, in Florida, we have so much new construction. Where I live, my house is 2.5 years old, so I'm not going to find a lot of vintage items here. But if I drive a half an hour outside of my area where I live, where the houses are built for 40, 50 years ago, I'm going to find a lot more vintage items, a lot more items that you guys, so it just depends what you're looking for too.
Yeah. If you're in Florida, one of the best places to go in is the country, like where cats stay. Yeah, you're going to find a lot of vintage stuff in there because a lot of older homes, a lot of older money down here in Florida. If you want to get to,
you got to go south. Don't come north. There ain't money here. Go the other way.
Fort Myers is Fort Myers is a perfect area to go in because you got a lot of older people there, and you got a lot of mixture of.
Man, Miami, I hate going there, but I love sourcing there.
Fort
Man,
Miami?
the traffic, it's like Atlanta, like that crazy traffic. But
Miami?
Miami is excellent for sourcing. But man, I want to pull my hair out by the time I leave. I'm like, and like people are so rude in the thrift store. They will run into you with a cart. They don't care. You're like, either you move or they're going to run into you.
Their flea markets are very good down there too.
Oh, I've never been to any of the flea markets. I like Homestead. I bet Homestead had, like, I like going to Homestead for plants though, because they got all the greenhouses.
You know, it's funny. I was on Hump Day Hangout, and we was talking about Cuban coffee, and that's where I had got the Cuban coffee at down in Homestead at a Home Depot. And I never.
I love Homestead. Like I really do. Wolfman's Goodies sent a $10 super chat. Since Kevin is here, let's give the Kevin super chat. Here you go. Close your eyes if you don't like it. Close your eyes.
The Commonwealth know he got.
He does. And I sent it to him before I ever showed it on the channel because somebody requested Kevin as a mermaid. That's how that came about. And Yvonne Thrifty Rich made that for me. She said, I can do it. And so, yes, Kevin he said I have to pay him a commission every time I use it though. That's what Kevin told me. So I got permission. Well, I got permission to be charged.
We settled out of court with him. We're going to promote Bonanza since he owns Bonanza, and we said we'll promote Bonanza on here for him, so that, and then he lets us use it. So,
listen, somebody in that chat requested that to be made. That is where that came from.
My favorite thing every week is watching you guys' face because
because we can see Tommy and David's face while it's going. Face. You guys can't.
And I just see everyone's faces. They look and they like squint in the screen and then they burst out laughing or they cover their face. That's the only two reactions. You were laughing, he covered his face in disgust. So that's like
So Gila said eBay's slow for her. So let people in the chat tell her if eBay's slow for you, and we'll go around on the panel. So for eBay right now, are your sales slow, or how are your eBay sales right now?
So for me, I took down everything from my eBay store and now building it back up. So I can't tell if it's slow yet. Maybe in another 30 days I would know, but I'm actually just getting I think I'm around 240, which I have about another 240 to put on there. So I probably know that in another 30 days. Right now, I'm just rebuilding.
Yes, it's slow for me. I'm getting sales here and there. I'm starting to try to ramp it back up. You know, eBay is like a not the stepchild, but the third stepchild, or the child after the child, the one that you kind of forget about. You left them in the car, but you're like, woman, somebody run back and get that to me. So eBay is like it's slow for now, but I'm having decent sales on there, to be honest with you, but it's not great. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna focus on it pretty soon. Put my foot down and just go in my shed and in my storage units and start pulling stuff out. You know,
so the past 3 weeks, my eBay has been an emotional roller coaster because it'll start off like like I'll start off the week and I'll have like 2 like really horrible days. Like I'll do $100 or do like $50. I'm like, what is going on? And then 2 days in a row, I'll do like, you know, $400, $500, $600, $700 in sales both days. And I'm like, oh, great. Now it's back up and then right back down. So my sales are down overall. And it's just been a constant roller coaster. And I'm listening consistently each day. I mean, it's helping. It's slowly going up, but it's been weird. It's just been slow.
Yeah, so I pulled mine up. We're down 7% from last month, but we've sold $3,000 this week. This week is the best week out of the last 30 days. So I'm happy with where it's at. We had like some slow weeks at the beginning of the month, but it's starting to pick back up. It is like, it's like fighting summer slowdown. It's like, can you list enough to compensate for people being out doing vacation? You have to list more to make the same amount of sales in the summer, I feel like, to try and like overcome that. Because people are going to the beach. They're going, on vacation. They're not on there buying as much as they normally are. So I would say keep listing, list more if you can, because the more items you have, the more chance you got at sales. And like, I'm hoping ours, like I said, is 7% down, but that's from those first 2 weeks. So hopefully it'll go back up again. All right, Tommy. And I think David can answer this too. You guys kind of give your input on it. They want to know, how are the seller fees? And I'm going to assume they mean like for Amazon and Walmart, the stuff that we don't normally talk about. And they want to know, what type of merchandise do you sell on those platforms?
Yeah, cover both platforms for us, guys.
So on both platforms, I'm heavy with toys. As you can see in my background here, I have a 2,500 square foot warehouse full of toys.
These are all brand new
that's
toys, right?
pretty much what I push. Now, the Walmart, hands down, their fees are way greater than Amazon. If you sell anything $30 under, it's at 8%. Anything over $30 is 15%, which is real simple to keep up with. I think Amazon right now is around 18%, unless they went up over the summer. And for people that haven't jumped on the Amazon train, there's some changes coming about. And I guess, at some point, I don't want to get ahead of myself with that. But when we're talking about fees, I think, those fees are going to increase. If they haven't increased already, because the last time I checked, it was 18%. But I know there's another change coming about. They got a lot of pushback from the sellers, the third-party resellers, so they kind of slowed it down. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet for this new increase that they're trying to pose on the resellers on the Amazon side. But to answer your question, I mostly concentrate on toys. I do sell everything, but I'll try to focus 90 to 95% of my inventory on toys, because I came to the conclusion years ago that toys sell all year round. So that's what led me to just branch out and put most of my inventory in toys.
Plus, you get a huge fourth quarter too.
Oh
Usually.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
For me, my journey started out as private label. So I first started with a private label item, and then I transitioned into retail arbitrage and all of that. So my first initial inventory was some of everything. Other than my private label, I had everything. I had items from Lowe's, items from Home Depot. I just went out and just started buying everything. And at that time, it was good because it was before the pandemic and things like that. So now my inventory is now majority toys per se now. I do more toy buying now, but I have, house goods. I got a lot of house goods from when I first started. I got because Amazon is like, you got to be ungated in a lot of things. So when I first started on Amazon, I wasn't ungated in majority of these toys. So I had to figure it out, and how you figure it out is trying to find out what can you sell. So most of my inventory at one time, I would say about 70 to 80% was home goods, and that was, pots and cups and, everything of that nature. Also, I was selling air pressures from Lowe's, and some tools and some things like Amazon would let me sell at the time, until I learned how to get ungated in other categories. So once I started getting ungated, I started delving more into toys, because like Buff said, toys sell year round. But also keep in mind, seasonal stuff are also things you should pick up as well, because I pick up goggles, and I pick up, underwear, shoes, and shorts, and bathing suits, and bathing trunks and swimming trunks and everything. I pick up everything because what I notice is that people buy for the season. You know, toys is gonna sell, but you got to put a filler in there also. You know, so well, basically now my inventory is probably more so 85 to 90% toys. But I try to keep a mixture of everything.
So for a lot of people in the chat that don't understand what you guys mean by gated, you know, when they're talking about gated, unlike eBay, you guys can sell in any single category you guys want to sell. On Amazon, you have to get approved to sell in certain categories. You have to meet certain requirements. It could be manufacturer requirements. It could be distributor requirements. So, you know, for people in the chat that maybe want to start dabbling or try doing it, what is your guys' best recommendation on trying to get ungated, or maybe tell a little bit more about that process? Because that's the biggest barrier of entry a lot of new sellers trying to get into Amazon run into.
Yeah, so if you're gonna try to venture into Amazon, the long game is to go into the stores and scan items until you can find something that you can sell. Once I started out in Amazon, that was my road towards becoming an Amazon seller, because for one, I wasn't trying to pay $2,000-3,000 for people list of distributors. I wasn't trying to pay for an ebook, because most of the information, if you really do your research, is out here for free.
Yep.
But if you want to take the short road, you're gonna have to get your documentations in order. Like most people, you know, you got the people that are trying to make their business legit, and you got the people that are just doing a side hustle. So I would say, if you're going to come into the Amazon realm, yeah, get your tax ID, get your sales certificate, so you can deal with all these different distributors, and get your business license, of course. So with that, you put yourself in a position where you can now deal with these different distributors to be able to sell their products on Amazon. So, and the way it works is, you find you a legitimate authorized distributor, because there's people out there that use the name distributor, but they're not authorized distributor. That's the key term.
Yeah.
So
Amazon has a list, guys, of that
once
too.
you find your authorized distributor, then what you want to do is figure out how many of the units that you can buy, and the minimum amount of units you can buy, so that you can use that number, which is for Amazon is 10. Then you can use that number to get ungated. So what they'll do is they'll send you your items. Like, just say hypothetically, well, I won't say hypothetically, I say realistically, you order, say, 10 Incredible Hulk action figures. Now, realistically, through that distributor, they're gonna already have it set up where you probably gonna have to order 25.
Yeah.
But because you're gonna need that invoice to provide to Amazon to let them know that, hey, I have a authorized distributor that's authorizing me to sell this good, you're gonna present that to Amazon, showing that you have purchased 10, and then you fill out this quick form with your phone number, your email, and then submit. And within sometimes 72 hours, sometimes 48 hours, they'll get back with you, and they'll give you the thumb of approval that you can now sell this brand. So that's pretty much the tabletop of how you would get ungated. But it's other ways as well. And I don't know if we have enough time to talk about it on the show.
So well, you got auto ungated too, which they based off of your sales history, and they saying that you're a credible seller. They'll auto engage you on a lot of things,
Right, based off of your performance.
So it's
David, are you still doing private label, or did you stop doing that?
Once the pandemic hit, Korea shut down. I mean, China shut down. So right. I had to stop the private label and start focusing more on retail arbitrage. That would really push me to retail arbitrage was the pandemic, because when I got my item into Amazon, it started selling. And, I was up to that point in which I was about to place another order. to ship it into there until the pandemic. And, you know, people who was dealing with China at that time had already heard the rumblings of they were shutting down. So we had already, a lot of us already heard it through my distributor over there, and they was telling me about, you know, they're not coming in, or they started working like 1 or 2 days out the week, and then it completely just stopped. Then after the pandemic, I had so much inventory because I couldn't receive my private label item. So I built up a big inventory of my retail arbitrage and dealing with other distributors and things like that. If I want to, I don't know if I really want to delve back into the private label sector yet. I have some ideas now, but I think I'm gonna wait on it, all because I want to see how Amazon. There's a lot going on Amazon right now, and I think they're going to start pushing out all of these Chinese or resellers who's not legit. You see what I'm saying? So the private label, if you enter private label, it is, if you got the money to start it, because the buy-in is anywhere from, you know, it depends on who your distributor going to be. I mean, your manufacturer going to be. It could be anywhere from $200 to, you know, up to $10,000 or $100,000. It depends on what your item you're trying to get made. Me, my buy-in at the time, I had 10 grand to work with. So my buy-in for my private label came out between $3,000 to $5,000. You know, and that was all said and done with the labeling, the inspections, the cost of the bill of making my item, just the logo, everything, and to ship it to Amazon, all of it within. I think it came out to 21. All in all said and done, about $5,500, pretty much. And I did that.
So someone asked, just going back to the same question we were talking about, how do you guys tell if someone's an authorized versus not authorized dealer? Because I know Amazon has a list of who they approve as authorized dealers. Is that correct?
I can answer that. Can you blow me up, Kat?
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna make it big.
All right. So I'm giving y'all a pro tip tonight. All right. So on any product you buy out of the store, all you got to do is look on the back of that product, and right here, it has the location of the manufacturer or the brand owner. And you go and Google that information, you more likely you're gonna be able to find either a phone number or a email address. And basically, you pick up the phone and call them and ask them who are their authorized distributors, and they will give you all of their authorized distributors. This has worked for me out of, say, 15 times I have done it. It has worked 15 times. That's how I find all of my distributors, is finding a product in the store, going to the back, finding the address, and then Googling that address and getting a phone number or a email address and contacting them directly, like Marvel. Contact them directly, or Hasbro, and find out who are their authorized distributors. They'll give you that information, and all you do is reach out to that distributor and then ask them, you know, for permission to use their website. And when they give you that, what they recommend, I mean, actually, what they require from you once they establish that they are the authorized distributor, they're going to look for those documents that I told you earlier. They're going to need your tax ID, and they're going to need your resale certificate. You know, so, and I know different states, they call that, you know, they got different names for it, but here in Georgia, they call it a resale certificate. And you're going to need that to present to the distributor for them to give you access to the account. And that way you can go in there and look around and figure out what things you want to order. And also another plus, if you want to get into toys, once you get into that website for the distributor, most distributors have what they call clearance areas where you can go and do a buyout. So this in the store may be $21, but at some point, if they got an oversale at the distributor, they may be selling these for $5. depending on how many you can buy. So that's just a tip to answer that question. I know I kind of went long form, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that's good info for everybody to have for sure. And oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was saying, because I was once an authorized dealer through. I had a contract with Forever Collectibles. I had a contract through Funko, where they distribute directly to me. But not all major companies do that. A lot of companies actually use a third-party distributors that you have to go through. You can't go directly through the company. So that's what he's really referring to. As a third-party distributor that's going to be able to supply. The company sends to them. Then they supply out to the rest of the businesses.
Right now, the way you're speaking of, like say Funko, for instance, they got a limit on how much you got to buy in order to have that access. Yep. So I don't know when the last time you talked to Funko, but the time that I talked to him, you had to spend about $5,000 just to get that access.
Yeah, so it can be a high buy-in to get ungated.
When I was doing with Funko, it was before they had Funko Pops. They just had the wacky wobblers back then, and their minimum was a lot less. When I was going through like Forever Collectibles, they had a very, very little minimum, and I was actually trying to get the produced bobbleheads and similar process. I was calling around and stuff like that, but I was trying to get the licensing, and the licensing was anywhere from like $50,000, $100,000 get like Major League Baseball. I was like, I don't have that, but if you can actually go through. But here's a pro tip. Here's the one for you guys. So if you guys ever want to get custom products made, and you don't have the money for the licensing, find the company that has the licensing and see if they will make you custom products for your business. So what I did was I actually contacted Forever Collectibles. They would make me custom bobbleheads, and I would have like LeBron James. I would have all these custom bobbleheads that were exclusive to my company at the time. I had a company called Sports Exclusives, and they would make bobbleheads, limited runs of. I had to order 144 at a time, and they would make them limited. They would make my design whenever I wanted. They would get approved by like the Player Association, but I would have direct distribution rights for those bobbleheads because they were making them in my designs. So no one else had those bobbleheads, which was super cool. But I actually piggybacked off their license. So all I was doing was paying them a middleman fee. They were having produced, and then they were just ship them directly to me. But I didn't have to put the $50,000 or $100,000 to get the NFL licensing at the time.
Yeah. I don't know if LJ meant, he said, what's the purpose of PayPal or paying eBay directly? I think he's asking like when we lose the credit card disputes, like, which on eBay now, you don't have a choice. It's eBay process payments. Some people who said they were still, Mike said he was still on PayPal, right? Last week.
I'm on PayPal.
You're not on the payment system?
I'm on the eBay payment system, but I actually changed my. So if you go into eBay Managed Payments, you can click on the pay directly through PayPal. So I pay everything through PayPal. Even when I make buys, I use PayPal, and I put my Amex card on PayPal. So that way I'm double protected. So if I ever make a purchase for an item, I use PayPal. If I have a dispute, I go through PayPal, and I also dispute through my credit card company if I have any additional issues. So I have double protection. But I use that to buy my labels because I have a rewards credit card hooked up. So, I get those extra credit card bonuses because the customer's already given me the money to buy the label. So I'm not paying anything out of pocket. I'm just acquiring all those Hilton hotel points.
Yeah. All right. I had Dalton hand me our work phone. So this is the Smart Sizer app I was talking about, guys. That's what it looks like. The one that automatically measures clothes for you. It'll measure like some scarves and some linens as well. So that's the app. It is free. It's iPhone only though. This phone doesn't have service. We just it sits in here. That's what the girls use to list with. So that'll answer two of y'all. So yes, it's on the Apple Store. It's free. We have not noticed a discrepancy. Definitely pay attention. If it says it's 48 inches and it's not 4 feet, you need to double check it. And that's the same thing with any AI. You guys got to review what the AI is doing, not just take its word and use common sense still. You still need your people input. Oh, I forgot Mark. Mark sent a $5 late fee. He is here 9:06. You're early. Normally he gets here about 9:11. So he's about 5 minutes early Mark time. All right. Mark gets Rod every time. I didn't give him Rod one time and he got mad. So here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Perfect. All right. Now let's see. Miss Artemis is saying, can you ask for a signature when you purchase labels on the seller app? I looked on my cell phone and I could not find, I pulled up a sale that needed to be shipped out. I could not find where to add signature on the app. Does anybody know anything different than that?
No, I think you can do it on a laptop.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I was doing it on a computer, so.
Yeah, and she also said, if you get insurance, do you still need a signature? I believe if you put insurance on it, then it requires the signature. Do you guys know if that's true? Mm-hmm. Like if you put added insurance. So if I insure it up to $500, with USPS, it automatically makes them sign for it. I'm pretty sure.
No,
does anybody know?
I bought additional insurance for items, and it was like, if the item was like $200, I paid like the extra $2-3 for it, and they didn't have to sign for it.
It might be newer.
It might be
because I just noticed it like the last time I did it.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't done that in a while. But unless it's a certain price point, like if you have like like a certain threshold, maybe they automatically require it. That's the only thing I can think of. But
yeah, I don't know.
They got 2 boxes on the bottom for signature and a box for insurance. So I think you have to add it if it's at a certain amount. I think that's
maybe if it's over a certain dollar, it's included with the insurance. Maybe that's the caveat to it. How are guests coming picked to be on the show? There are multiple ways. Rod picks people sometimes. I've been friends with Tommy for a long time, so sometimes I'll look through my old guests. We've been doing the show for 4 years now, and I'll be like, man, I like Tommy. I'm like, I've had Tommy on it forever, so I reach out to him, and then Tommy let me know Dmiddleman does a show with him, so he asked if he could come. That's how he ended up here. There's people have reached out to us. There's a lot of different ways.
A lot of times if I travel to like highway sales or like different reselling conventions, me and Kat meet a lot of other resellers at conventions that we had never talked to before. So that's a good way to see how they talk, or we'll go check out other people's channels. It just depends. I mean, we want to make sure that we do vet people coming on the show. We want to make sure that they can talk, have an educated conversation, because this is, we do the show for the audience, for you guys. So we want to make sure we set you guys up for success, because Kat's been doing it for so long.
Yeah. And like I had somebody, her channel popped up like on my home screen. I very rarely look at the home screen. I'm like, who is this new reseller? I clicked on her. I liked her. I think she's pretty new. And she knows her stuff. I liked her personality, and I reached out and said, hey, you want to come on my show? And she's like, yeah. So it's really random. But you can reach out. We can check if you have content. It's hard if you don't have content and we haven't met you. We've had people on without channels, but they're people that we've met in person. So we've talked to, we know they have the knowledge. We know they have the experience. Without a channel, it's kind of hard to gauge, whether we think they would be a good fit for the show or not, if that makes sense.
No size channel either. They could have 10 people. They can have 10,000.
Look, David's on here. David, I was going to try and share. David doesn't even have no YouTube video. But that's okay. Like, I talked to him. I trust Tommy. That's a big thing. I've known Tommy for years. I trust Tommy. Last time Ben was on Ready, Set, Resell, he brought a friend too. And a lot of times that's good because they do their show together. So they're I want to say chemistry is the only word I can think of. Their rapport with each other is good. So I don't mind if it's people that I've known, they say, hey, can I bring, my friend, my buddy? I'm good with that. If it's somebody I know, they've been on, I trust their opinion. Because Ben did that as well. We had Cincy Picker on. I don't think he did much on YouTube either. He did shorts, I think. But he did a lot on Instagram. So but if you're interested in being on, definitely reach out to me or Rod. We go through phases. For a couple months, Rod was booking everybody. And then I booked people for a couple months. We flip flop, we just message each other and say, hey, add so-and-so for XYZ date or whatever. That's how we keep up. We both have files on our phones with the dates, so we don't double book people.
Kat, I lost my auction. I was watching an auction.
Bad Rod.
Yeah, I forgot.
I am still winning all of mine as of now that I want to win. I'm trying, but it's going to be hard when they start all ending 30 seconds apart in 20 minutes. That's when it's going to be hard. But as of right now. So Rod and I both had online auctions ending while we were live tonight. I do not know this word. I don't know if anybody else on the panel does. What is Bridgerton? They're asking if we're using Bridgerton as a keyword.
That's a Netflix show.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a romance show that takes place in like the 1800s or I don't know it's old old England show. Yeah, my wife watches it, so that's the only reason I know it. So
I mean, if it's a popular show, you could use it as a keyword. Yeah, if you have something that you think matches the style of the show, I would look and see if other people are using it in sold listings. See if stuff is selling with that in the title is what I would do if I was thinking about adding a new keyword to my titles. I'm sorry, I don't listen. I'm like watching baseball. I had to let David and Tommy go because I wouldn't shut up. I'm like, I'm gonna let y'all be. I'm bothering you. The game was absolutely amazing last night. The Mariners are number one in the American League West, and we beat them. And Dalton, my friend here, moved to the other side of me, to the other side of my sister, because he said I was being too loud. Because I was screaming. He's like, "Mom, you're hurting my ears." And he goes like 4 seats down. I'm like, okay. So I embarrassed my kid apparently last night. We're going again tomorrow too. Grandma
Kat,
Mary's at. Oh yes, sir.
I wanted to answer a question. I see.
Which one? Chat, and I'll put it up.
Karen Fuller. She was basically making a comment about
this
the
one.
resale.
Yep, I got you. There you go.
License. So basically, it's the tax exemption form that you would get from the state. The title is resale license, but it's the tax exemption certificate that you'll get from the state. And that basically will allow you to deal with distributors, liquidators, even at the local stores. You can use that to go in and get tax exempt, like from your sale taxes at Walmart or Target or any of the discount stores. You just have to register with those stores, and they will give you sale tax exemption.
And it's called a resale certificate in Florida too.
Right.
A really important point that I want to make out to you, because 20 years ago when I first got my first resale certificate, I was buying wholesale plants. I had a nursery. So in order to buy from the wholesale nurseries, I had to have the resale certificate. What I didn't realize, and I want to make sure all of you realize, if you get that certificate, at least in Florida, you are then required to file quarterly sales tax. If you do not, they will charge you a $50 fee every quarter you do not do it. And like for me, and still, we're all online sales. And now the nice thing is, because the laws change, all the platforms collect it for us. So our taxable sales every quarter are zero. But if we don't turn that zero in, they will charge you $50. So be very careful when you get that certificate. You are then required to file a quarterly sales report, or the IRS will come after you.
So in Georgia, the rule is, if you new with this certificate, it's every month you have to file, even though, like Kat said, the platforms are paying for us, but you still have to submit. But after 3 years of reselling, you will have to do it once a year. And like I do it once a year, it still equal out to zero, because Walmart, Amazon, eBay, they all pull those taxes for me. So I don't have to.
So check your state. That's a good thing. Like, you're seeing the difference just between Florida and Georgia. Guys, check your state, because they're all going to have different requirements. When you get that certificate, ask them, because you don't want to get in trouble with the government right off the get-go by not filing a form that you didn't know you had to file. That's what I did. And luckily, listen, the IRS was nice. They called me And I was like, what? I was like, I'm buying stuff. I haven't sold nothing yet. It's zero. And they actually waived the fee for me. I was like 20 years old then. I had no clue what I was doing, but they waived the fee because I didn't understand. So if you happen to maybe you already got one, you haven't filed it, they are understanding. Like if it's your first time doing it, a lot of times they'll waive the fee for you. They were nice for me. That was 20 years ago. I don't know if they're still nice, but yeah. All right. Grandma Mary's Attic wants to know, how can you learn keywords and better title structure for your listings?
So the trick I use is the new technology out there called Chat GPT. You can put in there like what your item is, and basically say, create me a eBay title for this item, and it will create you one of the top titles for that platform. So if you're not familiar with that, it's a free app that you can download to your computer. I think it's a price if you try to put it on your phone, but for your computer, you can download it for free and just go in there and type in there. Say, I need a title for a Philip microwave with keywords, and it'll type it for you. But you have to give it specifics, like for eBay, and it'll type that title out for you.
Well, I pass on that because I just put what the item is. I don't care.
Well, with toys, like toys are almost like DVDs and books for me. Like they are what they are, right? Like it's not like this one-off vintage decor item that I need keywords for people to find my item. Like you guys have, it is what it is. It's new in the package. I don't think like I don't add words to DVDs, to video games, to VHS. I put the title, what it is, and I just leave it be.
Sell similar and hit. That's it.
Depends. So for example, like if I sell wrestling toys, I'm going to add all the other wrestling companies to it. So I'm going to add WWF, WWE, AEW, ECW. So like there is you can add stuff to toys here and there depending on what it is. But I'm also very niche down in that industry. I mean, I was a pro wrestler for several years, so that's something that I know very, very well. I would say if you're new and you're trying to have a really hard time trying to find keywords, don't try to reinvent the wheel. All you have to do is type in the item that you're looking for, click on sold listings, and search from highest to lowest. See what the highest items are selling, look at their titles, and what do they all have in common. Is there certain keywords they're using? Is there certain phrases they're using in this? And that's the best way to learn. Also, too, you can anything that may be associated with it. Like I use the example, like the WWF for years was called WWF, and then in early 2000s they had to change the name to WWE. So now I know that I'll add both those names because people who are searching for the old figures will type in WWF. People searching for new figures will type in WWE. So like you learn that though by experience and by going through all these different processes. So that's the best way to learn and see how the best selling items are structured and listed.
Yeah, so I put a link. I have a class. It's a 30-minute class. I'm not going to talk about it for 30 minutes on here. If you want it, I have a lot of classes. I don't really advertise them because all of it is free in my videos. Those are just compacted into a very short time. So I agree with I've started using Chat GPT for some of my video titles. So I do like the Chat GPT and to help with descriptions. Somebody put up, like, if you did not see my video, guys, LP's Express Lister is insane. You take the pictures, it creates your title, it puts in the item specifics, it does everything. All you do is take the pictures. That is it. And you can even set the tone of the listing. Mine is very funny. I put a video game and it told them, get your controller Spartan. I was like cracking up. If you watch the video, you'll see it. So, and like other people are saying LP Pro 2, because that's creating it. It's AI for resellers. But if you want to add in extra ones, looking at the completed listings, I'm with Rod. Like I look at what other people have in their title with items like mine that have sold it, that I might not think of. Like that's how I learn about like cottage core and granny core. And there's like all these cores, Barbie core. you know, and like if you're not in, like I don't know what the heck's going on in trending. I have no clue. I'm not gonna lie. But if you see the same word over and over in all of these friggin', you know, listings, try and figure out, and I'm sure you can Google like what is cottagecore. Chat GPT, Judith. Chat GPT. It's a AI. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get on a soapbox right now with this comment, my friends. I wish LP would come down in price. $69 is steep with a discount. I'm gonna disagree 110%, and I'm gonna tell you why. I also will tell you that Vendu's plans go up to $150 a month. Okay, List Perfectly's highest is $69. Especially with the new, and not to pick on you, I'm not picking on you. I know it's hard, all the monthly subscriptions. I'm not gonna lie, but here's the thing: if you are like spending all this time making listings for $69, it makes it 10 times faster. You're going to make more money. You're going to make more sales. It's going to pay for itself. Like if you are cross posting and it takes you 20 minutes to get one listing up to 3 platforms, how many new items could you have listed in 20 minutes that would make you more money? And that's why, like, if you try it for a month, but if you don't utilize these services, right? Same with WorthPoint. Me and Rod talk about, if you don't use it, don't pay for it. I agree. But I think it's stuff that if you use it, it pays for itself. Like it's going to save hours of listing time, of cross-posting time. And honestly, I would probably still be paying for it at $150 because it's saving me. If it saves me 30 hours of time, I would only be making $5 an hour at $150, and it only costs $69, right? Like, how much is your time worth? My time's worth a hell of a lot more than $5 an hour.
But I mean, it's what people don't understand is it's the best way to grow your business without having to hire someone. You know what I mean? So if think about this, so if you want to pay someone to come over and listen, you don't payroll, you don't have to pay someone. If you're only paying, say, $50 a month, $150, whatever you're paying, doesn't matter. I don't care if you're using Vendu, This Perfectly, one of the other companies out there. You know, you're using these tools to benefit your business. So if you're paying $70 a month to increase your reach, I mean, that's no different than paying eBay to promote your listings at a higher percentage. That's no different than, you know, using these other platforms, these other services to scan photos, to do this, or to remove photos from your background. You know, a lot of these
like Amazon, the repricers. I don't know if you guys use repricers, right? Like the Amazon repricers, the book scanners, all of it's saving time, right? If it's doing it for you, that's time you can be doing something else. Yes, and it is a tax write-off. Right. I took a loss the first 2 years I was reselling because you'll get, like, I got money back the first 2 years I did my business. And again, Marsha put in the chat, we are not tax professionals, but like all this stuff, like the courses, WorthPoint, List Perfectly, anything, like I wrote off my darn super chats I send because that's business I'm advertising. They put my name up there.
Yeah. But I'm the plain devil's advocate too. It has to fit your business, you know what I mean? And
no, I agree.
If you only have 100 items in your store, cross listing probably not going to be fitted for, the best thing for you. But if you're hitting that 1,000, 500,000 item listing, I mean, you want to expand out and keep growing. Like, you don't want to keep building up inventory. Some items are going to sell great on eBay. Some items are going to sell great on other platforms. Like for me, like I've used This Perfectly. I've used Vendu. I started using Vendu because I can cross list to Whatnot right now. So I sell a lot on Whatnot. For me, I've been selling on the Whatnot marketplace or move stuff directly from Whatnot over there. That fits my business at this time. So you guys have to find what fits your business, what's going to be best for you.
And I say anytime your business is growing, you got to have the right tools to help grow with your business. You can't do what you did when you first started out because you're not in the same position. If your business is growing,
want it to grow.
So if your business is growing, you got to have the right tools that continue to grow.
It's not going to stay stagnant.
Correct.
And you got to know when you're ready to incorporate, to put these different platforms or different things to help your business Like the repricer. When Kat was saying the repricer, most of us Amazon sellers use repricers, and it helps.
But like for me to get a repricer would be stupid because I'm not going to use it, right? You got to use it, guys. If you're paying for it, it should be something you're using that's saving you money. Like a few people told me they're signing up for List Perfectly for the listing creator, and they don't even want to cross post because they're going to save the time creating the listing. They're not even cross posting. Plus you got the somebody said like the peace of mind, and Rod said this with any of these, like if you have a bank of your listings, if you get kicked off eBay, you got a backup. You don't got to go create all those listings new again. I use LP when I get returns, right? Because that listing is off of eBay. I can use it from my LP catalog to put it back on. But yeah, now with it creating the listings, like if you were paying a service, now you've got something that'll do it. You upload the pictures, it does it. You don't have to pay a service to do that for you anymore. So if you use it enough, it's worth it without cross posting.
I say this on the show all the time. Don't step over $100 bills to pick up pennies. If you're trying to save $10 here, $20 here, how much money are you leaving the table without putting that money out for those services? We talked about, me and Kat talk about WorthPoint. That might not be for your business, but we've given numerous bunch of examples where we have, if we didn't have WorthPoint, we would have left thousands of dollars on the table because people on eBay were just pricing off the last 90 days and they weren't looking at the history of those items. They are very unique items and they were selling for double, triple that amount of money in the past. And people just didn't know better,
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. And I think you guys already answered this, but you want to touch on it real quick, like where you're getting the items to sell on Amazon. I think she means a private label is what she meant. I think, unless there's something white label that I don't know about.
Yeah, white labels. That's what Middleman talked about for is getting your products from China and then, basically putting your brand on it and selling it on Amazon. So did you mention the location that you would do that?
Did I mention? What you mean?
Like Alibaba?
Oh no, I didn't even get into Alibaba. But that's who I went through. Alibaba. Back then that Alibaba was kind of new. It wasn't really new. The features they got on there now wasn't on there when I was doing it. And and that was back in 2018 when I first started with private label. It's more than just China. They have China, I think it was India. The Philippines. Say again?
India.
And it was a few more countries, but I chose China because China was, how can I say, it was more easy to work with. The guys the mentor that I had that was mentoring me to do it was pushing China too. So China was the best bet for me when I was doing private label. But also there's a lot of United States manufacturers too. They have a list. I had copied it on my phone and stuff like that. Manufacturers just here in the United States. The only problem with the United States manufacturer, they cost more. That's where the problem come in. But if you need your items now or faster, this finding a manufacturer here in the United States would be your best bet. But
my friend did it. He had like $1 million in sales in private label, or maybe he got up to like 2 million. His manufacturer was in Thailand, and he even went over there. Like he went over there to the factories. He met with them because he was getting like so much product, and his private label got put on like HSN and QVC. He did, and he was willing to teach me, but like I like finding the vintage stuff. So like for me, I just had no interest in private label. But you have to do what you like, right? Like it's not all about the money.
one of the key to private label with those guys that's building these companies, the goal for private label, what I was getting taught was to build a company up, sell it, build another product up, sell it. You know what I mean? And that was their
model.
Their model was to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of guys was doing. You know, they will just build it up and sell it to a high. They make millions off of these deals.
Yeah.
You know, because the product is already selling, it's already in Amazon and everything like that. You did all the work. You know what I mean? Now you sell off. You know, that's how a lot of big companies buy out these little smaller companies anyway. That's the model they were using.
So me and Kat both had this philosophy where we got into reselling because this is what we're passionate about and this is what we love to do, but we sell items that we like to sell, you know. And part of the reason why Kat doesn't want to go into Amazon because she thinks it's boring or it's not fun because you're just sending stuff into FBA. So I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that when people, you know, say, because I mean, you guys do sell on eBay and you sell on Amazon, you sell on Walmart, you know, when people say that the FBA is boring, I mean, kind of, why don't you guys touch base on that? You know, what's your opinion on that?
What can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You're just ready to go, man.
Like, because it's funny. I find it funny because believe it or not, Amazon has different categories, right? Amazon has antique category. Amazon do have FBM with fulfilled by merchant. So how you selling on eBay, you can sell it like that on Amazon. You can make listings on Amazon. You can do all of those things on Amazon. The difference is Amazon a little bit more stricter. But also Amazon make you have your business in order. So I sell new and used on Amazon. Open box too on Amazon, but it's not called open box. It's called new, like used like new.
Like new. Yeah.
Or collectible like new, and things like that. So and you have more eyes on Amazon than you actually have on eBay. Amazon by far is the biggest platform in the world when it comes to this reselling game. Amazon is the biggest. There's no questions asked. So if you're on the fence about selling on Amazon, just think about Amazon's push. Think about how many Amazon trucks you see in your neighborhood. Think about all the Amazon commercials you see on television. Think about all the Amazon packages you receive in your house. Now think about how many eBay trucks you see. How many eBay commercials you see. Where eBay name is at. eBay is great. eBay, man, millionaires is on eBay. There's a lot of big names on eBay. But if you want to push your business and you're a little further, you're gonna have to expand to some of these platforms that make you a little bit more uncomfortable. You know, you might be uncomfortable, but they will grow your business. And if you just talk to someone like me and Buff, who actually selling on all multiple platforms, you'll see it's not as hard as you think it is. And it can be exciting because FBM is selling like eBay. You fulfilling it yourself. You housing it yourself and everything. Amazon also provides the listing on their item. You just got to put it in the correct condition. You know what I mean? So you see all those stock photos on eBay, right? And people have a stock photo for used and a stock photo for new and all that like that. Amazon have a stock photo too, majority of the time, and you just add your condition to it. But I'll say, don't be scared. Don't think it's boring. It's a lot easier. It's a whole lot easier listing on Amazon. Whole lot easier.
If you like it. Because some people, like, you love it, but I'm on the other side because I did it. I did FBA. I did FBM. I've done it. I did it, like, pretty decent because I was getting a lot of pallets. So I had a lot of open box stuff. I was buying return pallets from Lowe's, from Home Depot. Not Amazon because most of the Amazon return pallets are on the West Coast. But HSN, QVC. And I quit doing the pallets, too, for the same reason. And I made money at it, but, like, I didn't like it. And I can, like, if I can sell a piece of jewelry and make $1,000, where you might have to sell, 100, 200 toys to make that same $1,000, I'm going to get it. And I could put it on Amazon, but it's more difficult. And like, I didn't like the Amazon, like the FBM shipping, and I probably just wasn't used to it. I hadn't used it enough. And I've been selling on eBay since 99. So I think that's why I gravitate towards eBay. But like, if eBay took a nosedive, I'm not saying I'll never, and I think I still have stuff in FBA. But I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again. But you guys got to make sure, like, and some people go for Amazon, like that's their number one. You got to find what what you like. I did books. I did a lot of books on Amazon, and like, people make a living off of just books. It's just, you got to see like what, and like, so Cheryl, like, she's saying she ain't sourcing for eBay, so Amazon might be a better fit. And you can by far do both, guys. I know Katie Reeds does both. She does Amazon, she does eBay. She said her Amazon's been picking up like crazy lately. I was talking to her the other day. So you definitely can do it. Now, me, like, I'll tell you, like, I check both when I go to buy stuff, and most time it's going to be cheaper on eBay, so I'm going to buy on eBay. And that's the cross thing, though. Like, if you're a seller, you're getting more on Amazon, right? As a buyer, I'm going to buy it on eBay. As a seller, you might make more money on Amazon.
Yeah. So let me add my 2 cents in on this as well. Amazon, for one, like Middleman mentioned, the traffic is there. Hands down, they're number one with e-commerce traffic. And two, what I like about Amazon above all platforms right now is I can start my Christmas rush right now in June, where most platforms you got to wait until about October, late September to start selling, toys or things for Christmas. I can start like right now, which I am sending in big shipments to Amazon. So by time I get into the beginning of Q4, all of my inventory will be at the FBA fulfillment center waiting to be sold to customers. I don't knock any platform because you can have success on all of these platforms. It's just like, for me, I try to cater to the traffic, and eBay is a number two, but Walmart is a close number two as well. And I think within the next year or two, Walmart is probably going to take over eBay and Amazon as being the number one e-commerce for traffic. And that's what I pay attention to. For anybody in the audience, you always want to look at the data. Go out there and check the data and see where all the traffic is going. And then based off of what you like Kat say, she just love eBay. If you love eBay, look at the traffic, look at the numbers, and see if there's another viable option out there outside of just the platform you're selling on. I'm not pushing nobody to any platform because, for as I'm concerned, and this is no shade on anybody, the least amount of people I can get on Walmart as a third party reseller is better for me. The least amount I can get on Amazon.
Well, that's like Vestair and like, what are them, like the fancy like furniture that people always ask us if we do on? Some people probably make a living on those smaller, like, I can't even think of the names. I'm sure they'll tell us in the chat. Rod, like the fancy furniture that the interior designers use the website to buy on. What website is that?
Yeah, I
somebody tell me. But like, people probably make living on those platforms too, right? And they're smaller platforms. So like, if you're doing good there, stay there. I'm getting ready to try and branch out to some other platforms myself and try and see it. Tommy, do you Cherish? Thank you, Cherish. I know you said there are some out there. Do you have any names you could give them? Cross-posting services that do eBay and Amazon. I know you said you were researching some.
Yeah, well, I don't want to put out the one that I said that I'm doing research on now because I don't want to mislead anybody to jumping out there and it don't work out. But Sale Bright is one that I did extensive research on, and they have the capability of doing cross posting on Amazon, Walmart, and eBay. And they also, once you make the sale on one of those platforms, they will delist your items within 10 minutes. So they are great, but they are expensive, and that's what led me away from them. Is because each time your inventory go up or your sales go up, their percentage go up, and
Ooh.
I don't, that to me that's not feasible for me to get into.
Yeah,
But
where it's
there are
going
a couple.
higher and higher.
There's a couple out there, so you can just go out there and see. Just just type in cross listing for Walmart, Amazon, eBay. They'll pop up. But I can tell you right now, Sellbrite is good at what they are good at what they do. The customer service sucks, and the cost for the subscriptions varies. It's not just one set price; it'll jump on you.
Yeah, and you got to be careful of overhead. Most things, theoretically, the more you sell, the price should go down. The percent they take
Exactly.
should go down. That's how it should go. But, you know, Trashy Panda said, what generation of iPhone? If you guys want to say in the chat, I think this one's a 13. Like I found that the 13 and 14, because I know I'm not an Apple person. iPhone, though, quits putting out updates after so many like new versions are out. So you want to make sure you get a iPhone that can update. I don't know if older than 13 will still work for some of these apps. Some of the apps will only work with the newer ones, but we got the 13 and the 14 and those work. And then Posh Lux, the Facebook group is Death Pile Destruction. And Marshall put that in there for you guys. I haven't heard back from them as far as the link not working. Let me see if I heard back. Look, listen. So Trish, I can't leave her alone, even though she's in Hawaii on vacation because she's my friend and she just got to deal with me all the time. Look, I kept telling her she had to find me a turtle. Look, she found me a turtle. I'm like, you got to go see the turtle. She sent me the volcano with the ash. I'm like, that's not a turtle. Where's my turtle? So she just sent me a turtle. But it's 3:00 in the afternoon in Hawaii right now. All right. Linda wants to know, do you think it's worth using a listing service?
For eBay or which?
I assume eBay with most of the questions if they don't say, just because that's what we seem to talk about the most. But
I mean, it's all depending on where for me, it would be depending on where your business is. If you have a small amount of listings, then I would say no, just do it yourself. But if you have a 300 plus type listings and you keep growing, then yeah, get the tools that you need to make the job easier.
I would say for me, I would rather spend my money on a cross-listing platform than a listing service. And the reason for that is I can get my items, let's just say if I'm paying a listing service, $2 a listing, whatever you're paying them at that point in time, to get, 30, 40 listings done, I can pay a cross-listing platform and put all my items, those same items, on 4 or 5, 6 other platforms and get more eyes on them. And eventually get more sales, I'm assuming. So just because you pay a listing service doesn't mean that it's going to help increase your sales. You're just getting more items up. And if those items have a crappy sell-through rate or those items aren't good items, that listing service isn't really going to do you any good because you're just putting items up there. Even if you do have items that have a lower sell-through rate, getting more eyes on them are going to be more beneficial to you than actually using a listing service. And that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, so with List Perfectly's new Express Lister, it does it for you. You put the photographs in, it makes the listing like a listing service would. I will tell you guys, I'm lowering the pay of my listers because it is so easy now. I'm not paying them $2 a listing anymore. So that just saved me that. But I mean, they did 20 listings in like under an hour, where it was taking them 2 hours before, of our like one-off stuff. Karen, I just put a video out. Watch my video. I did a step-by-step on Sunday, walking you through almost everything on LP. But that's where, like, all the listing services, I know I never use them because you have to take the pictures still. And the hardest part for me is taking the darn pictures, right? Like, so if I got to take the pictures, I might as well create a self-similar and list it myself. That's how I look at it.
And you have to do your own pricing. They don't do pricing for you.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Nora says she's new. Should she start out just listing items on eBay, or would you recommend she get a store?
It's been so long.
I got a store. I got a store right off. I just didn't want to have the hassle of paying eBay after you reach that certain what it was. They was charging you after a certain many sales.
Yeah,
$250. $250 normally.
So normally the general rule of thumb is until you hit 250, you probably don't really need a store, because at any point in time, I mean, if you're starting out and you know you're going to be listing, 30, 40 items a day, okay, maybe you can jump and get a store. But if you're new and you're just starting out, it might take you may be listing 20 items a month. You don't know until you start doing it. So I always tell people, start off just listing. Once you get the hang of it, see if you like it, then you can start expanding. And as you get more and more listings up there, it is a numbers game, because eBay will charge you an X amount of money per listing over your limitations. So meaning that anything over 250, it's more beneficial to actually pay the money for a store, because it will save you money in the long run. And then once you hit over, they changed it? Was it 10,000 now? Like, then the next store above that is like 10,000, but
and then you got to go. It's like a ridiculous jump from the 10,000 one.
Though it wasn't always like that, because when we had our 50, we do the $59.
Oh yeah, it went up right when I was going over too. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Marjorie, you cannot run sales without a store. No, that would be one reason you would want to get a store, if you want to run sales.
And they give you buy some boxes. Oh, not buy. They'll give you
the shipping. Not the lowest store. You got to have like the $20 a month store to get the shipping coupon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this up here real quick, and then I'm putting the last question is going to be for Tommy and David, and then we're going to let y'all go. Desert Fairy Chick says, wish I had a reseller buddy to chat and hang with occasionally. It's a lonely job. So I'm going to say, put in this chat where you're at. There's 350 people in the chat. Put where you're at. You might meet somebody in this chat, or like if you go to Tommy and David's, tell people where you're at if you're looking to hang out with somebody in person. I actually go thrifting with Elena. She was one of my viewers. She messaged me, said, hey, I want to go thrift. I'm like, okay. Now I drive all over the dang place. So, she meets me wherever and we go. Death Pile Destruction group is great for having friends. Like Tommy has a Facebook group too, Buffalo Picker. So like any of those Facebook groups, you can put where you're at if you're wanting somebody to hang out with. List Perfectly does Zoom calls Monday through Friday every morning. You can see people, you can talk with them. So there's a lot of different ways, but in these chats is one of the number one way. Just tell people, hey, I'm in Dallas, Texas. Is anybody near me that might want to go sourcing or whatever? You'll be surprised. All right. Last question for Tommy and David. And this I think is a good one. When you sell on Walmart, so a lot of people don't know. They want to know, is it a platform like Amazon where you're a third party, and they want to know, do you have to get approved to sell in there? So I wondered if you could answer that and maybe tell them a little bit of how that process works.
Yeah, so Walmart is new to the e-commerce world for third-party resellers. They only been doing it. I think they started the pilot program in 2019. And they kind of opened it up in 2020 for everybody that can pass the criteria to be able to sell on the platform. So their standards are changing all the time. So when I got on with Walmart, you had to produce your sales for any other e-commerce platform that you're selling on. They wanted to see the link and they wanted to get into your store to look at your sales and your performance. And those things are matrix that they would use to determine whether or not you're a good fit for Walmart. And last but not least, you would have to have a website as well. If you didn't have a website, you was automatic gonna be eliminated. Um, Now, is that still the standards? I'm not sure. I got approved on Walmart over 2 years ago. So, is Walmart like selling on Amazon? Yes, Walmart is pretty much piggybacking off of everything that Amazon has in place. When I got on Walmart, you didn't have to be approved to sell anything. You could sell whatever, just like you do on eBay. But now you have to have the um, documentation. What I'm losing my train of thought now. The the paperwork you would get from your distributor in order to sell a product.
The invoice.
The invoice. But yeah. So you will have to have the invoice now, and they're pushing for that. They are also pushing for you to um, be able to keep your store stocked. Like now, before it was like if you run out, you just run out. Now they are telling you, hey, you had 15 of these items, and now you're down to zero. Basically, they're kind of peppering you up to get more of those items back into the store. So those
So
are old.
are they for multi-quantity mainly then, would you say, Tommy, for Walmart?
Not really, but they're not. That's not like a hard push for that. But those are the same tactics. Based on just saying for us the tactics. That's the same tactics that Amazon use. The ungating. Providing the invoice. Uh, Basically pulling your item when you got it priced too high. um, telling you that you were getting low in stock and you need to restock. All of those things came from Amazon. And like I was telling somebody on our show, I think a couple of months ago, is that a lot of the top execs that Amazon let go, Walmart brought those folks over into their program to help get their e-commerce for third-party resellers off the ground. So a lot of the changes that Walmart is currently going through now, those are changes that are coming over from Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. So my journey on Walmart is the same as Buff. I came in about 4, 5, 6 months out there, if not a little less. And I had to do the same thing to get on the platform, and they make it hard. Well, making it hard for you to get on there at the time. I don't know what's the process now. But if is it like Amazon, like Buff said, it piggyback up. Yes, it's starting to be more and more like Amazon, but less organized. If that makes any sense. Amazon is very organized, and Amazon is very specific. Walmart is a little different because they're the new kids on the block, so they're trying to get everything figured out. They're trying to get all the bugs out, the kinks out, and all of that. Amazon is far more has far more time, and they had a lot of more things put in place, whereas Walmart's trying to get those things put in place. We're hoping that they'll start a better seller help, because their seller help is not that great right now.
Is Walmart all fulfilled by you?
No, Walmart also
so Walmart's like FBA?
Yeah,
for
they
us,
have fulfillment as well.
yeah, for me at the time, yeah, I'm fulfilling it myself, but I'm looking into sending it into their warehouse. Now, when you were talking about having multiple items, yeah, if you're going to send it into Walmart, it's best to have 15 of an item, 20 of some items, or 10 or
Okay.
whatever, if you're going to send it into them. If you're gonna ship it yourself, they trying to push it, but they don't bother with you about it.
Okay.
They still run it pretty decent. They have like Buff said, Walmart's closing in on Amazon when it comes to sales. During the fourth quarter, if Walmart isn't exceeding Amazon, it's getting close.
Wow.
Because everybody is on Walmart too. Walmart get all of them sales, the Black Fridays, everybody's on the website. So that fourth quarter rush and the first quarter rush is just tremendous on Walmart. It's tremendous.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do,
Yeah, and I mean, I see it all the time too.
if you're gonna do merchant fulfill with Walmart during Q4, you best to have some help. I had to learn the hard way. But yeah, you best to have some help because those packages are not going to slow down. I had 200, 300 package days during Q4, and I didn't know how I was going to get those packages out. So, yeah, if you're going to do it, you're going to cross over into Walmart and you got high inventory, Q4 expect to be super busy.
Yeah. And you know, Ben, I do it with my wife. She has her own Walmart store and her own Amazon store, and you could just imagine, you know, with my store and her store, her eBay is way bigger than mine. So, you know, her eBay and her Walmart combined with my Amazon and all of those, we need help. And I would tell Buff, I'm gonna send things in this year. because there's no way to be doing this part-time, working 12 hours and then getting off and then fulfilling 30, 40 orders, and then the next day the same thing, and the next day, yeah, it can get very overwhelming. Very overwhelming.
That's for me?
Yeah.
Oh, for me, I know it's way overwhelming.
No, I was reading that message. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's right. I think for everyone here.
I think all of us are okay with you messaging us on Instagram, Miss Brenda. Yeah, and I'll take it off because I know Tommy has his there, Buffalo Picker. I put the link to David's Instagram. His link is in there. Rod's name's the same, mine's the same, and I know. I think you already messaged me, so I don't think anybody on the panel would be adverse to that. All right, we're over. I'm gonna let Tommy and David tell you what they got going on one more time, where to find them, and then Rod will tell you, and I will tell you. So here's Tommy.
Okay, so you can find me at Buffalo Picker on pretty much everything. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Also, I have a show every Sunday night. It was on Friday nights, but we're moving it to Sunday for the first time this coming Sunday. And it's called Defend the Hustle, Buffalo Picker Defend the Hustle. On that particular show, we do a lot of Walmart and Amazon discussions. We also bring in people that are particularly selling on eBay, Posh. You know, we had the last couple of weeks, we had a guest that was talking personal finance. We had one to come in and talk about IT, all the new technology coming out with information technology. So we have a broad show, but it's based off around reselling. So if you get time, come out and check us out. Bring your questions, just like you do here at Cat Show. And once again, I appreciate Kat for bringing me in to let me talk to her audience.
Thank you for coming. All right, here's David.
Okay, I have Whatnot this weekend on Sunday, an 8:00 show. I am along with Buffalo and Glass City for Defend the Hustle now on Sundays. We also, Buffalo mentioned he also do giveaways and things of that nature. We try to stay as much as transparent as possible. We got 3 guys that's on the panel that's got a lot of knowledge on a lot of different sites, and we have different journeys. So if you're looking to find more information, come over, look at us, check us out. There's not too many places that we're not gonna have expert in. So I'd like to say thank you for Kat and Rod for bringing us on, and everybody have a good night. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. All right, Rod.
It's not often that we have Amazon and Walmart sellers on here, so guys, give them a follow. You guys need to learn about all these different platforms. That's how you guys expand your business. You may not need the knowledge now, but give them a follow, because 6 months or a year from now, you may want to revisit this. So as for me, it's been a big week for me. I dropped a brand new video on my picking and punching channel. Go check it out. I have run into a garage sale ultimatum, and the guy tells me I need to buy it all or nothing. So check that one out. And then I dropped a brand new channel. It's my third channel. Why do I do this myself? But if you guys are interested in sports cards, I am starting a sports card channel. It's my first love. That's how I originally got into reselling over 25 years ago, selling sports cards. So I'm revisiting my childhood, opening tons of packs on there, doing everything. I'll put a link here in the chat. So go, if you guys aren't sports fans, don't worry about it. But if you are, go check it out. But that's my my new channel there for picking and punching sports cards. So check it out.
Yeah, so if you missed my List Perfectly video, go watch it. I show you 3 listings. It creates them just from the photos. That came out on Sunday. I think I'm doing a what sold video out tomorrow, and then another thrifting one on Thursday. I'm doing them farther apart because I have a lot to list right now. Now, next week, so we had Amazon and Walmart tonight. We are going to have Becky Park on Poshmark, the Poshmark queen, if you want some Poshmark help. And we will have Yvonne Thrifty Rich as well. She does a lot of live selling. So you guys are going to get some different, look, see, it's me and all guys this week. Next week, Rod gets to be with all the ladies. So those 2 ladies will be on next week. I think I'm going to put out a whatnot schedule. I got to figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing some ephemera and some costume jewelry and some shop the shed. So thank you big time to Tommy and David for coming on. Their links are in the descriptions, guys. Follow them. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you all so much for coming. Rod, thank you for still coming.
For showing up, as always.
Bye, guys.